Welcome to the Wed Pro podcast, the podcast for Wed Pros no matter their stage. We are your hosts, Katie and Roxy, and this is the Wed Pro podcast.
Today, we're going to be diving into a topic that we know is super important for your wedding business. We're about to go into really kind of the crazy months coming up over the next few months, but also for listeners on the other side of the world, this is a topic. It doesn't really matter what time of the year it is, whether you're heading into crazy months or you're beginning to look forward to the quieter months. It's a great time of year now to be getting organised or looking at your advertising and marketing. So today, we're going to be sharing tips for blogging for your business. So what's really super important to talk about before we dive into the tips is look at why blogging is so important and how also to stay motivated. We'll touch slightly on some of the technical stuff such as keywords and SEO, where you should be blogging and why you should be blogging. And then also we'll give you some amazing tips for content as well. So yeah, let's chat about blogging and why you should write a blog for your wedding business.
So blogging is all about getting your business found online. And if done well and in the right way, couples that are looking for your service will find you, like you, and they will want to book with you. So couples will not find you or your website if it's not ranking well on search engines. And the holy grail of this is getting to the top of Google for your keyword, and blogging can go a really long way to help that content.
Yeah, 100%. I think it is exactly like what you say. Not just about couples being able to find you, but also sticking around on your website for longer as well. So, you know, one of the things that Google really likes is fresh content on your site. You can't be constantly updating your services. You may not have the pictures or the images to be constantly updated, images, etc., but you can be blogging regularly. And there's so much that blogging can do for your business. So it helps you find clients on Google. It keeps your couples interested and coming back for more. Like, what else have you got to say? What more tips can they find out from you? What other weddings have you done that you're writing about? They can come back to you for inspiration. It saves you money on any paid advertising that you're doing, because if you do this well and you start to rank well, you know, you can invest that money in other things. So it can save you money in the long run. Yes, it is time, you know, it can be a little bit laborious on the time, but we've got a few tips and tricks to help you with that, which we'll go on to in a minute. It brings you bookings as well. So, you know, blogging, setting yourself up as the expert brings you bookings into your business, and it helps your wedding business ultimately be successful and profitable. You know, setting yourself up as the expert, showing people that you know what you're doing, sharing inspiration, being able to be found. All of this stuff builds your business up to be successful. And we know that people can struggle with blogging. They can have good times with blogging, bad times with blogging. Sometimes people don't even know where to start. And we just wanted to do the pod today, and we're recording for our YouTube channel at the same time, because we really like to blog. We adore writing, and we love to help wedding businesses. And really for the past, I can't even remember how many years now, but from the beginning of the Wedding Business Hub anyway, we've really wanted to be able to blog, and we blog on our own website for wedding professionals. We wanted to build a blog, and we wanted to build a resource that would support people like you. And we're super proud that we've been able to make that happen. And one of the ways we have made it happen is by blogging or podcasting and sharing our advice and expertise to reach an audience. So this is what you can be doing inside your business too. And we do understand that it's not easy, don't we, Roxy?
Oh, yeah.
Quite a lot of businesses do tell us that, you know, that they do struggle with blogging, whether it's for time, whether they just don't know what to say, whether it might be motivation. And we want to eradicate those things for you today while you're joining us for the next 15 minutes or so. We want to give you as many tips as possible to make blogging for your business as easy as possible, so that you can go on to have an easier, more successful business. And what is really great about this is, well, quite a lot of what we teach and talk about is all about repeatable strategies that are going to work long term for your business. Yes, you know, we're all about quick cash and injecting cash into our business when we need it, but ultimately we're here for the long time in your business as well. So blogging is one of those things that is a repeatable strategy, that when you get into a routine with it, you're putting out content that people want to see, it's going to work for you time and time again.
Yeah, and it is about having that strategy. You can't go into this just kind of on a whim because it's just not going to work. And listen, I'm dyslexic. I am not the biggest fan of writing, but it is so important in business to be doing this because this can really, be the difference between having a successful business and, not having such a successful business. So we are here to give you some easy to implement tips. So let's have a look and chat about all the tips that we've got.
Yeah. So you said then, you're dyslexic, you really find it hard to blog. I'm sure some other people will have kind of similar experiences. Any tips in terms of like what helps you when it comes to the writing inside the business?
Okay, so biggest thing for me would be, I always tell myself this actually, and anything to do with writing is less thinking, Roxy, more doing, because I can really sit and overthink it and put a massive amount of pressure on myself to do a good job, to
I love that.
make sure it makes sense, to make sure you bring in value. But all those things actually come natural to me if I kind of take that pressure away. So just don't be hard on yourself, write it out, go away, come back, read it again. Maybe don't even kind of publish it same day because I can guarantee that I can write something, leave it, come back to it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's a really obvious like typo that I've done there. So there is no rush to get these blogs out. So yeah, just kind of take that pressure off. And also don't do it when you're kind of feeling tired or already stressed. Like find your time of genius.
Yeah, I like that one because sometimes I'm like, oh no, today is not the day to be
Yeah.
writing.
And you can just feel it, can't you? Like you can
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
like,
no,
oh,
no,
this
no.
is not gonna work.
They take a lot of research and they take a lot of time actually, especially if you're doing kind of an advice blog or anything like that. It can take quite a bit of research, or if you're talking about upcoming trends or anything really,
Mhm.
it can be almost double the amount of time it takes you to write it to research it. So yeah, I like that tip. And then also as well, I know that you have like spelling and grammar stuff on your laptop
Yeah,
as
I do. Like, but some of them are really rubbish, which is hilarious. It makes me laugh because even you'll pick up on stuff, and I'm like, believe it or not, I have ran that through the program that's supposed to pick up spelling,
well.
but I don't know. It's not picked it up because I can't spell. And
Um,
I've just got one of the other thing as well, actually. Yes, AI, ChatGPT, and things like that are brilliant, but I find sometimes if I go in there to help it starting writing the introduction to a blog, I find it harder to edit what it gives me. So it's better just to start from scratch sometimes, I think. Just
I think anything with ChatGPT and the more and more that AI gets kind of used, it has to be used there just as a guide,
yeah.
not as, let's cut and paste that and put that over here. Because what ChatGPT does is it takes content from places it's found on the internet and pulls it together. And it's not going to have your tone of voice, it's not going to be the way you speak, it may pull things, it's not always 100% accurate. So yes, I'm a massive fan of making things easier for you in your business. We use ChatGPT for things that we do, but we always we always change it. But it absolutely does save time.
And everybody actually nowadays is using it. So you can spot that kind of text a mile off, can't you?
Yeah. Oh, I was having a little giggle the other day because I think it was on one of the Facebook groups I'm in that was like, oh, let me know what words ChatGPT have ruined for you. And I was going down the list and I was like, yes, 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 yes. Here's two. That's the one that I'm always like, here's two. And I'm like,
Let's dive in.
let's dive in. That's another one.
Heartfelt. Loves a heartfelt.
Really. Anyway, we could talk about that forever. So we've established why it's really important to be staying visible on Google by blogging about your wedding business, either on your own website, or you can always submit blogs to
Mhm.
other wedding blogs on the internet where your ideal clients hanging out. But we understand that blogging can be difficult, whether it's at peak times or whether you just feel like you may have lost your mojo. So let's dive into those tips that we've been talking about so that we can get you that motivation for yourself and get your wedding business noticed, even if you are lost for ideas. We understand this can be a challenge. So here are our ideas to inspire you to get going with your wedding business blog.
Okay, so number one is have a clear objective. This is going to help give you a sense of purpose. It's going to help you plan your blogs a bit better. So, really have a think or even write down what is the purpose of this blog? Is it to help potential wedding clients find you online? Is it to provide advice? Like, what is your goal? You should always start kind of whatever you're doing, whether it's even social media stuff, with kind of what you want the end result to be. It will just help guide you and keep you on track as well.
Yeah, and I think with that one, don't procrastinate, don't overthink it. Like the longer you leave this, the
This is a
more
Roxy tip for sure.
yeah, the more daunting it's going to be. Just go
Mhm.
for it. Like blog posts can be short, they don't have to be like super, super long. If writing isn't really your thing, don't feel like you have to write an essay. Like 10, 20 sentences is all you really need. Just make it chatty, make it engaging, make it, a conversation. Write it like you would write a conversation, and it will be fine. Like it will be fine. And if that sounds a lot, just imagine that you're blogging and you're talking to a friend. Like blogs don't have to be perfect, they don't have to be super formal. Next time an idea kind of pops into your head for a blog, you know, wherever you are, just grab your phone and you could dictate it. You could speak into your phone as a note, or you could write some notes on your phone. If you dictate it, you can run that through an AI, and then a few tweaks to that rough draft, and then bish bash bosh, you're ready to post it. Think of that just kind of as a conversation. So I think really it's about don't procrastinate, don't overthink it.
Yeah, and I really like what you said there about imagine you're talking to a friend, because it can feel difficult. It's just you're writing, and if writing is not a natural thing for you, like I know you find it a lot easier than me, but it can be really hard thinking, oh, I'm just talking to nobody here. But also, like you say, they don't have to be mega long. So just say what you need to say. Almost kind of, I would just bullet point it out, get the main points in there across, and then you can always fluff it up, go back to it an hour later, like sit on it a little bit. And what I think is really, really helpful is to have that content calendar plan. So list it out for the next kind of couple of months, the important dates that are coming up in the season that are relevant, and then you can write your blogs around that.
Yeah, it could be like seasonal posts. It could be, around Christmas, you want to write, you want to share all your Christmas wedding inspiration, whatever it is. I think it just kind of helps to what you're going to be talking about in the future. And then even if you write a rough plan and you don't do anything else with it, but have the plan and have the ideas as to what you're going to say, when you do come to write your blog, you don't have to think it up. Like you've already thought, right, I'm gonna be writing about Christmas wedding trends at the moment. I'm going to be writing about a past wedding I've done today, and it's already out there.
And this is what actually can support you, like with your social media efforts. If you've already got a bit of a content calendar going for your socials, or maybe you've only got one for your blog, like they can support each other, they can complement each other. You can recreate content that you've got on socials for blog for socials. We're all about making your life easier. Like work smart here, guys, not hard.
Yeah, sometimes a change of scenery works really well as well. I don't do this enough actually, but
Same.
sometimes that change of scenery where you think, right, I'm going to get out of the office, I'm going to go and sit in a cafe or a co-working space, and in the next 2 hours, I'm going to sit and blog. And that almost is like creating not only a change of scenery where you're not going to be disturbed by kids or partners or the doorbell going with the Amazon delivery or whatever it is, but also you're creating that little blogging routine almost. So if you know that you can get into a zone on a Wednesday after you've dropped the kids at school, and that's going to be your blogging time, being in the right place at the right time can just give you that motivation to write something or enough. So that's something that you can try as well. Write about things that interest you, what you're passionate about, your subject matter, why you're in the industry and what you love. Like it's so much easier to stay motivated when you're enthusiastic about what you do, you're enthusiastic about your work. And also it's easier to connect and engage with
Yeah.
your clients as well and your couples, because your enthusiasm and your love for what you do will shine through. If you are not interested in X, Y, Z and talking about weddings that are totally not for you, and they might be for somebody else, but you may be a supplier that does not want to do country house English weddings, and that's not your jam and not your bread and butter, and it doesn't interest you at Flightlist, you don't have to blog
No.
on stuff like that. Like
Stay
blog
true
on,
to yourself.
be true to yourself, but also this is about knowing your business as well, and where do you want to head and what is interesting you. So write about the things that's interesting you that are also going to attract your ideal client as well.
Yeah, I really, really like that tip. There's no point because you're not going to enjoy it. You're not going to enjoy writing. The creativeness is not going to flow. And, it is worth saying that you don't have to share your personal life on your blog if you're not comfortable with doing so. So think about how professional and relatable you want your blog to be and then stick with that tone of voice. It's absolutely okay not to show every part of your life. Like,
Think,
Kate, you're kind of a lot more personal, no, a lot more private than I am probably on our kind of business socials, but each their own. You don't have to
I
share
think
everything.
what blogging kind of started was people were blogging about what they were doing, and whether it be makeup or whether it be their love for cars or whatever it was, that's how blogging was kind of invented. So I think people kind of still feel, oh, do I have to overshare? And I do remember that we worked with a wedding photographer years ago, and he had two blogs, didn't he? And he had a wedding photography blog,
Yeah.
and he had a blog about like his life. And we were, and he wanted it to be like that, and that's absolutely fine. And he wanted to be like, this is what a wedding photographer's kind of life is like, and he blogged about that. But you can absolutely make the decision. If you were to go onto our blog at the Wedding Business Hub, we blog tips, advice, how to grow your business, all things like that. I can't tell you there'll be,
No.
we might have touched on things that are quite personal to us, like specific days throughout the year, like this specific, like mental health awareness day or something like that. We might touch on something in that angle that's quite personal towards us, but we don't, share our personal life on our blog. Like, we're here to be, to help you build an amazing business, and that's the purpose of our blog, and that's what we are doing. So don't feel, gosh, it would be a blog on my personal life,
Wow, you would need a whole book for me.
a million pages long.
And it actually goes back to that first point of your goal of blogging in the first place. You always got to keep it in line with that goal. Like, is this in line with what I want to achieve? And it's really important as well to be keeping your blog fresh by constantly researching and learning what's going on in the industry, what's coming up, explore new wedding trends, read other blogs, and really stay up to date with the latest developments that are local to you, things that might be going on locally. And learning new things as well is really, really motivating, and it really will help you show yourself as an expert in what you do.
Yeah, so take ideas, put your own spin on them, have your own angle on something that may be happening. I follow weddings on my news app on my phone, so that anything kind of weddingy can come up on there. So quite often, like little silly stories. I think I read one the other day about a best man pranking the bride, and then the bride walking out of their wedding. But things like that, I've always got little stories or little things
Yeah, you definitely have.
and cool things because I follow weddings on my phone. I'm also, another good tip is to sign up to your email list, sign up to a few wedding blogs, the bigger wedding news features. So celeb weddings that are happening, you can comment on them, you can blog on them, you can blog about like what you liked, what you disliked. Do you think that this is going to influence trends next year? So if you're struggling to kind of think, oh well, where do I go and find any of this information from? Where do I find any the research? Where do I find the learning? Those are two really easy places where it can come to you, and you do not need to go and search for it. So that's just things that I do so that I can keep an eye on what's going on in the wedding world, and really understand kind of what's coming up, and so that we can kind of keep on top of it.
Yeah, I like that because it can feel overwhelming, right? To be searching out all of this stuff. So the fact that it's going to be coming to you, really, really love that. And on that overwhelming point, which gosh, I used to get overwhelmed chronically. Not so bad now because I can feel it happening before it happens, but previously it would hit me like a ton of bricks. Like if I had two things on my list to do, that would be like, I don't know what I'm doing. But what really helps me is to break the processes and including blogging into smaller manageable chunks. Like I was saying, don't have to write the whole blog in one go. Maybe research the idea or a few ideas, and then okay, start bullet pointing them out, kind of breaking it down into manageable tasks instead of writing that whole entire blog. And completing these smaller steps can give you a real sense of accomplishment and motivation. We were on our coaching call this week and we were on about kind of list writing and things like that. And I realized at that point that I am not so good at writing lists, but what I do is, and everyone was laughing at me for this, is I do a done list. So I will write what I've done and then tick it off straight away. That feels great for me.
I've heard that actually. I think you're supposed to do that. You're supposed to like put something on
It's
your
great. You're like, gotta do this. Oh, wait, already done it.
and
Tick.
then it's like, oh yes, I've already done
Yeah.
that.
Like that instant kind of feedback is really great for me. But breaking it down can really, really help, especially if you've got kind of extra struggles like dyslexia like me, or maybe neurodiverse. You don't have to do everything all in one go. Definitely breaking it down can really help with that overwhelm.
I think this is a good tip for anyone that writes really long posts. I can get into this for sure. You can break your blog posts up into a couple of parts, and that's really good
Oh,
to
that's good.
come back and read the second part of your
It's
blog,
like a series. It's almost like a Netflix series.
or to subscribe to your email list, or to follow you on social so they get that like next piece. And it's actually something that I need to do more. I don't find it too difficult once I've done the research, once I understand what I'm talking about, whether I'm blogging for the wedding business owners, because we do that for business owners, we blog for them, or whether I'm blogging for our business. I don't find it too difficult. And yeah, those blogs can be on average 1,200 words sometimes. So you can break it up into 2 or 3 as well. Set achievable deadlines.
Yeah.
Consistency is super essential, but don't, set unrealistic goals of I'm going to blog twice a week, because it's just going to lead to burnout. Like consistent posting schedule will help you to feel motivated, and it'll be way more sustainable, and it'll build that audience up over time, rather than you going for it and going for it and going for it, and your audience is really used to you having a blog out every single week, and then summer season hits and you just can't, peak wedding season hits and you just can't, keep that up, and then it just goes to nothing for 6 months.
Yeah.
Unrealistic goals like that, it's not just going to harm you in terms of you being tired and burnt out and feel guilty that you've not done it, but also it's going to hurt that kind of trust with your audience that is expecting to see things from you, and it's not there anymore, and it'll hurt the rankings on Google and the algorithms, because they're expecting this content to land and it isn't landing anymore.
So another thing I've just thought of here is, for me personally, again, don't find this so easy. Stop comparing yourself to other people that are doing or appear to be doing a better job. We're always looking for others, like, oh wow, they're doing it. Almost used to think, oh wow, like Kate's doing such a good job of this, so I need to also be doing such a good job of this.
I was doing a good job of this, but my house was an absolute mess. Or
Exactly, like we don't know the actual ins and outs of what others are going through, others are doing. So just stay in your own lane. If you don't want to write massive blogs, maybe that's what you can be known for. That's absolutely fine. Doesn't matter. But yeah, just don't compare. Just do you. Be you. Stay true to yourself.
I love that. Another thing that can be really, really helpful is to keep kind of a list in your phone of kind of ideas and inspiration. And you can do this with social posts as well, not just blogging.
Mhm.
But whenever you come across an interesting topic, or you have a creative idea, jot it down in the notes on your phone. And then having that list of ideas there is just going to really help you, because you're never going to be short on topics for yourself as well. You can collaborate with other wedding professionals. You could maybe do a style photo shoot, use the images that you've done in the photo shoot, and talk about your experience as you blog. This content, a content from, a style photo shoot can absolutely, help inspire at least 2 or 3 blog posts.
Yeah,
That you
it's
could,
about having that content bank, right?
yeah, off the back of that style shoot. And you can also involve the other professionals that were there on the day. Ask them for a quote that you can include a little backlink. That's just a really nice way you were able to collaborate and like stay in touch as well. And it gives you a little bit of accountability, because you've told this wedding supplier, oh, have you got a quote that I could use for this, or do you have a little handy tip, or do you mind if I include you in the blog? So you've got that accountability, because you're going to get that blog out there and let your wedding supplier friend know that it's coming out, which is just good as well. I think finally, our final kind of tip here is just remember that, business is a journey, and motivation comes and goes, and that's okay. And you probably wouldn't know it, but like, I am having the most tiredest week ever. My kids are unwell this week. I'm super, super tired, super like.
Oh, when you said yesterday to me, like, I'm feeling not the most motivated, it's funny because the day before I'd said to my husband, like, oh, this week, because I'm like riding solo, I'm feeling really like lacking in
Mhm.
motivation. So when we came back yesterday and you were there, I was like, she's here.
I feel better today, but yesterday I was having such a slow, like, felt like kind of walking through treacle everything because I just was just felt blur, like
Mm.
which isn't really me ever, is it? And still a little bit today. I'm still quite tired. It's going to take I think a good week to recover from this last week of just sickness in my house and poorliness. But business is a journey and motivation,
Totally.
and sometimes it's just having some discipline some of the time, but also having a strategy and a plan to fall back on so that you're able to maintain that presence, maintain that enthusiasm, and provide valuable content to your audience as well. And in the long run, it absolutely does count and will really help your wedding business get found on Google, but also not only get found, but to nurture your audience as well.
I actually could not agree more. Like, it's totally a journey, and the only way that these things become easier is to just keep doing them, just keep chipping away, showing up in the best way that you can, because that's all that you can do. Getting something out there is better than nothing.
If you are struggling with the time or motivation to blog for your wedding business, then we can help. For just £24 a month, you can have our done for you blog services that will elevate your wedding business and get you seen without the hassle. Here are some of the benefits that members of Content Club are seeing inside their business. They are saving time up to 6 hours a week. No more late nights trying to come up with blog topics. We provide all of the content that you're going to need. They're boosting their SEO. Fresh, relevant content regularly added to your site improves your search engine rankings, and we deliver it to you absolutely hassle-free. We'll help you engage your audience, captivating blog posts that will attract and retain your ideal clients. Content Club enables you to maintain a consistent blogging schedule effortlessly with high quality content written by experts in the wedding industry. There's no AI generated content here. The blog posts are researched, they are relevant, they are timely to what's going on in the industry. They're timely to what's going on in the industry, they're current with any news that's happening or any trends that are going on, whether that be in weddings or whether it may be the latest, Netflix thing that's big. It's all current, it's all high quality content, and it doesn't rely on AI. And most importantly, as well, it's affordable. You get all of this, you get 5 blog posts along with social media captions and graphics and reels as well, all for less than the price of a weekly coffee. So don't miss out. We don't have many spaces available in Content Club. Don't miss out on this opportunity to streamline your content strategy and watch your wedding business thrive as well. Join Content Club today and take those first steps towards consistent, engaging, and effective blogging for your wedding business. Let's grow your wedding business together.
Wow, couldn't said it better myself if I tried. Thank you so much for tuning into this episode, and we shall see you on the next one.
We will. The link for Content Club is going to be in the show notes.
It is. Until next
Bye.
time, guys. Bye. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Wed Pro podcast. Full transcribes of this episode, plus every other episode we have done, are available at www.theweddingbusinesshub.com/blogs. Thanks so much for listening. If you do have any questions about this episode or anything else at all, you can email us at info@theweddingbusinesshub.com. And if you are loving our episodes, which I know you are, make sure you hit the subscribe or follow button so you can stay updated with any new episodes that land. We look forward to seeing you on the next episode.